Mythical champions are here along with primal shards and quartz. But is it that exciting? Hey guys, finally he sleeps here. Tonight we're going to look at primal shards and we're going to check out all of the new mythical champions and discuss what it means for Raid. First though, make sure you subscribe here at YouTube so you never miss when a video goes live for Raid Shadow Legends. This is my new home on YouTube, separate from my main channel, so the Raid content doesn't get lost within EA Sports FC. It's simple and free, which means hitting the subscribe button is the easiest way to support my channel. So thank you for doing that. All right, back to Raid. With the most recent update, Raid added a new red shard into the mix. It's the Primal Shard. It's angry. It's red. Already said that. And it's really kind of deceptive too. It's still in the pecking order before Sacred, which seems weird considering it's the only one that is giving you the chance to summon a mythical champion. But if you look at the drop rate on these, on the primals compared to everything else, you're going to understand why. The chance of pulling a mythical is 0.5%, which is really just a 1 in 200 chance. But when you say it like that, 1 in 200, it doesn't sound quite as bad as 0.5% to pull one. Until you figure how hard these shards are going to be to come across. At the release, everyone was given 2. You can always buy more in the store if you're willing to shell out some cash. They can be manufactured. Here, if you look, the quartz, they are allowing you to collect 100 primal quartz to form a primal shard. So that's kind of good. It's interesting, and that's positive, other than the fact of where you're getting the quartz at. You know, how do you come up with those little pieces to fuse the shard? You're going to finish in top 3 in Hydra Clash each week, and then you can still get those as part of events and hopefully tournaments. Right now it is available in the Oktoberfest, I believe. Is that where? Yeah, we have primal quartz. There's enough to obtain an entire shard if you go out to 1850 through Dungeon Divers over the course of the 3-day. So that's, I mean, it is giving them out within those within the events. I mean, it's not necessarily an easy way to come by it. They're going to be pretty damn hard to come by in game. You know, they're not on par with like you know, ancients, let's say. So it's ups and downs again. Let's go back to the drop rates on these things and take a look, because it does mathematically all sort of make sense. Unlike Sacreds, where you're getting epics or legendaries only, the primal is like a double power ancient because you're much more likely to pull a rare. In fact, 5 times as likely to pull a rare as you are an epic, which is twice the drop rate for epics and legendaries is void and ancient, but still a 1/6 of the drop rate for sacreds. That 0.5% at a mythical comes at the expense of a rare 82.5% of the time. Now, affinity wise, the primals only give out 4 spirit and magic champions right now. That's more because there are no void mythicals yet. We'll see it, you know, if when they do release voids, what's going to happen, if they'll be a part of the primal shard, or will they add them into the void shards, or even create a void primal shard? I don't know. Maybe like an angry purple shard. We'll just have to wait until sometime in 2024 to see how they plan on handling that. We don't expect void mythicals to show up anytime soon, at least 3 to 4 months before we see anything like that. Now, it has also been confirmed that Plarium has no intention of any kind of a like 2-time or 10-time event coming soon for the primal shards that increases the likelihood of getting a mythical champion. And we just experienced a boosted summoning event for primals. Like right now, there is a targeted event and it's showing that there's a 10 times chance here. 10 times chance from Ancient, Primal, and Sacreds here for your 2 targeted champs. But they're not talking about anything soon where it will affect your chances of getting a mythical. That 0.5% chance for primals is all we're going to have for quite a while. The last one we just had some kind of it was a double chance or something like that. All that really did was turn the primal into a sacred light because it doubled all of your chances. So instead of it being an 8% chance or a 16% chance for an epic, I think it was a 32% chance for an epic and a 2% chance for legendary. It doubled it, but that was it. It was a diet sacred, if you will. And since sacreds are much easier to come across if you're in an active clan killing the Ultra Nightmare clan boss every day, it was much better to just hold on to your primal shards than waste them at any given time right now, unless some kind of weird targeted thing shows up that is kind of out of left field and not necessarily something we're planning for. But right now, you're much better off holding on to your primal shards than wasting them. With the shards being on the difficult side to come across, what are you missing out on with these new mythical champs? Quite a bit, though, honestly. The new mythical champs feature a skill that dramatically changes them into someone or something new. Their appearance, their kit, even their affinity can change when they make the metamorphosis to their alter ego. Think of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, except with more fire and less. It's the transformation. Right now we have. There's only 5 of the factions that are giving out mythicals. Over at Sacred Order, we have Siegfried the Nephilim. I don't know. Mild-mannered attacking knight by day and a flaming Florence Nightingale by night. This shift goes from attack to a support champion, which is kind of ass backwards based on the visuals alone. It's really hard not to think of this guy as the attacking version, but that's support. And then he goes back into his attack form in the basics. This one looks a lot more menacing, even though it's a support champ. Over at Skinwalkers, we also have Mezomel Looperfang, a very reasonable she-wolf if she's in a good mood, a pissed-off werewolf when she's having a bad day. Both are spirit attack champs, with the change being more about damage and nuking, with AoEs on both her A1 and A2 over in the more aggressive version. The bronze head thing is kind of freaking me out a little bit. Moving on to orcs, we have Garhol Bloodmaul, an HP champ who traded in her last few vestiges of femininity on a giant hammer and a helmet that makes her look more like a very cold Dolph Lundgren in drag than an orc as we know them. But once she's shifted into her alternate form, she goes from being frosty to outright murderous. But then again, you would be too if you suddenly grew a tail and then realized it was on fire. In fact, every few seconds, she kind of stops and she looks around. I think she's sniffing because she smells probably a burning iguana, but can't quite decide where it's coming from. Yeah, what's that smell? Do you guys smell that? Yeah, that's what it is. The dwarfs also have a new mythical by way of Frolin. Is that what it is? Yeah, Frolin the Mechanist. who looks much more like just another ill-tempered little person than a mechanist. A mechanist? Is it mechanist? Mechanist? Mechanic? He has a glove. I'm sorry, it's a metal gauntlet. Whatever. He also has a big axe. Unless there's something mechanic hidden underneath that kilt, the skirt thing, I'm calling bullshit on him having any engineering or mechanical knowledge. Even in his alternate form, he just looks like a Walmart Iron Man, but in bronze. He goes from HP champ to defense in the process of this change. Both versions feature his "I'm the tallest dwarf in the guild" helmet, which is really weird. It's like Billy Ray Cyrus dressed him. It's got that foot-high fake ponytail, making him the pseudo Kid Rock of the Red Spike Mountains. I don't know. He's probably a fantastic champion. I'm kind of bitter at all of these mythicals. 0.5% chance in claiming him. If we go down to Sylvan Watchers, the newest, there's one here as well. Ugh. Arbaeus the Stonethorn, who starts out just as creepy, white, nightmare-inducing fey creature with dead eyes and no body movement beyond this like rhythmic breathing. Everybody always moves a little bit, you know, like Garhole, Blood Maul sniffing for her burning tail. But this one just stands there like it's ready to attack. It just bothers the hell out of me. Seriously, I can't be the only one creeped out by this. Right? She just stands there. She's not doing anything. She's just breathing. She starts out as a support champ, but changes into an HP champ. Wait for it. If you thought her first carnation was creepy, this one is much worse. It's like Groot tried to eat her, but instead exploded, and now she's riding him around like a parasitic antler demon. 5 new mythical champions are all next level, and there will be more coming soon, including one that's achievable in game without a primal shard as part of a major new update in the near future. Are the primal shards worth it? Right now, price-wise, if you're spending cash, they're almost as cheap as ancients, which is less than they're worth considering they're twice as likely to spit out epics or legendaries. Yes, they're going to be a bit more difficult to come by, but considering they offer as much of a chance to pull a mythical as Ancient and Voids do to pull a legendary, it's really exactly what you'd expect. Best advice, hold on to your primals for the time being. Looking at the Mercy system, they run on the same parameter as Ancient and Voids, which means you'll need to open 200 before Mercy kicks in for a mythical. Now let the newness of the mythicals wear off and hope for a bump in frequency on their drops or a decent event where you'll want to cash in on the primals you've saved up. Are you likely to pull a mythical? Obviously not right now, but with only a few shards available free to play, we've got one in the event, the 2 that came with it. But think back on the champions you have now. How many of the legendaries that you have were pulled on Ancients? You know, Ancients have a 0.5% to drop a legendary. How many do you have that are Void legendaries? Do you even have any Void legendaries? If so, both of those occurred with the same odds you have of pulling a mythical champ from a primal. 0.5%. That's it. Appreciate you guys watching, and if this helped, please consider subscribing here at the channel. I'm Finally Sleeps. As long as you keep tuning in, I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed, my YouTube channel has expanded. Subscribe here for Raid Shadow Legends content, but make sure you check out my other channels as well for EA Sports FC, Everything Automotive over at Gearheads, and visit Cringeworthy for a few laughs. Subscribe links are right over there.